So you're saying there's a chance? Well, not really, but we're going to get into it anyway. Tony Del Grasso is here, Kyle Gaffner as well. The Philadelphia Phillies are 5.5 games back of the Atlanta Braves with 11 games remaining. They play them 7 times. Can they do the utter impossible? We're going to find out very, very soon. How's it going, fellas?
What up? What up? What's going on? Chilling.
I'm a little agitated today, but go on.
You know what? Right before we started, Tony, the most angry I've seen you all season long.
You got me going.
And you know what? I am hoping that you're still fuming, you're still pissed off, and I'm hoping that you can go into it right now. So the first topic we're gonna get into here, all right? Let's get into Gabe Kapler, all right? Because we have not been liking what we've seen out of Gabe Kapler the last month. Tony, get it off your chest.
Yeah, he's finally did it. He's pissed me off. He's pissed me the fuck off lately. Just and the thing about it, I don't know how much exactly it is Kapler and not Clentak or the organization, how much they're pressuring him to do this, blah blah blah. But just the whole JP Crawford situation, the whole year, it's finally got to like a boiling point with me where now I'm just like, what the actual fuck is going on? People seem to forget that most people still considered him the best prospect in the entire organization. A lot of people still considered him a top 10 prospect in all of baseball. Going into the season, he started off really bad. Then he got hurt, and it was like everyone forgot about him. He got hurt. The Phillies got hot. They got into contention, started making trades. We all sat here a couple months ago, liked pretty much all the trades. The Cabrera one, did not like at all because we all knew JP Crawford was coming back, and then what did that mean for JP Crawford? It was like they fucking just like didn't think about the big picture when they still should have been thinking about the big picture and just wanted to upgrade a tiny bit offensively and take a big hit defensively when even though they're already the worst defensive team in the league.
It's not a big hit. It's a cataclysmic hit.
Yeah. And as it turns out, Cabrera hasn't hit at all either. His OPS with the Phillies is under 700. And we've gotten to the point now where, you think finally, even at this point in the season where they're basically out of it, yet, all right, let's play Crawford at shortstop every day. Let's see what he has. No, they're still not fucking doing it. He started Pedro Florman like twice at shortstop in the past week. Like, what is going on? Like, why are they screwing this kid up? He still is showing what he's been touted to do all along here for the past few years. He gets on pace. He plays really good defense, and eventually he's going to turn into a good hitter too. Sorry, I'm ranting.
It's okay, Tony. That's why we're doing the show. Tony, this is therapy session. Keep going.
Yeah, talk. Somebody else talk.
Kyle, go. Are you pissed?
So, I mean, I am upset because of what we saw in the beginning. You figured, okay, this guy has a chance to really be possibly manager of the year. He knows what he's doing. He's done his homework. I like his new style of thought, his play, okay? And it was working. And then all of a sudden they got into a rut, and it's like he panicked. He didn't know what to do, so he started to tinker. But he tinkered too much to where I think he was overthinking even himself. He had no confidence in what he was doing anymore. And it led to us not scoring runs, having a ton of errors, having one of the worst defenses in baseball. And with the whole JP thing, Tony, I don't know if it's so much what he does on the field as what he does off the field. Because what I've seen of JP Crawford down in spring training and, through the minors, he's a bit abrasive. He doesn't keep his mouth shut. I've seen him get kicked out of games in spring training, yelling at the skipper or stuff. So maybe – when he did get hurt and he did come up, he's saying, "Oh, I should be playing," and maybe possibly that Kapler doesn't want him in his ear all the time, or he pissed off the organization because it does seem like that. Why are you bringing in these old guys when the youth is right there? Because you're right. I mean, he was killing the minor leagues. He was flying right up through the system, kind of like J-Roll did. You figure this kid's going to be up here around 2021, and we're going to get to see the future of Kingery at second. And JP at short, like we all expected to happen. But they traded for us Drupal Cabrera. And I knew he wasn't going to put up the numbers that he always put up against us. I hated that trade too. And it kind of just seemed to like bite us in the ass. And now it comes down to, are we going to get him by the skin of our teeth? We literally have to win out right now just to possibly make it to September or October baseball.
You know what also looks stupid as fuck right now? These trades too, because you bring in you bring in Batista, you bring in Joey Bats, and he's already hitting third in your lineup immediately. Disgusting. Wilson Ramos comes in, he's batting fifth. The Drupal Carrera comes in, he's batting sixth. So you see what's going on here. All of these pups, the young Phillies, the guys that need experience, need the September baseball experience, they're not playing. And we've seen this offense just go to complete shit. So I want to ask this too. Am I looking too much into this? All of these veteran acquisitions, did it ruin the chemistry of the lineup? I mean, I know they weren't scoring runs as it was, but it seems like they've gotten even worse.
Good, Tony.
Well, kind of like I said off the air when I was off the air as well, I think the Cabrera trade in particular is the one that kind of broke the camel's back, so to speak, because it's the one that like really kind of screwed up what everyone thought they were still trying to do with the year, because everyone knew they were going to compete, they were going to at least be better than last year, but everyone also knew that deep down they weren't a legitimate World Series contender, and that the most important thing this year was still developing the young players and figuring out what they have and what they need to do to get better to make that next leap. Well, we have, 11 games left, I believe, including tonight. Is that right?
Yes.
And we still haven't really figured much out. Like, okay, I understand J.P. Crawford was hurt for 2 months, but all this time he's been sitting on the bench, you could have been figuring out a little more what he is. Now, all of a sudden, there's people who know the organization who are saying they're not sure they consider him the shortstop of the future anymore, which is fucking baffling to me, because he has 250 major league at bats, 300 major league at bats. Like, that's just absolutely absurd. Because Kingery is not a long-term shortstop. So I just feel like they kind of took their eye off the ball, so to speak, and just started trying to win this year a little too much. And to be fair, they really didn't give up much other than Medina. But what they did do was kind of screw up what they already had, in my opinion, and it's particularly in Crawford.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely messing with his, development. And by bringing in, when I thought it was desperation when they brought in Joey Bats. I'm like, what are we thinking here? Okay, it's Drupal Cabrera because, he had really good stats when he came to CBP. So I kind of get that, but I thought it'd be a backup, some insurance play. So just in case, because Kinger was playing horrendous ball, and that was just until Crawford was rehabbing down there until he got back up here. But to have him instantly batting at your third spot, the young guys got you to where we were 15, 16 games above 500. And you sprinkle in the vets to kind of help them out and bring them along for playoff baseball. But instead, you kind of just said, screw you, and we're going to start these veterans here of what they did in previous years, okay? Joey Bats hasn't been relevant in about 3 years, okay? He's nothing more than a guy that should maybe come off the bench that could pop one. Justin Bour, okay, I kind of got two, but it just seems like they panicked, and they brought in all these veterans to take over for these young guys, and you're hurting their development instead of, aiding it and looking towards the future. So it's kind of, it's perplexing on what they're like. There's no vision anymore. It's like they're just grabbing at straws and like, well, we don't know what to do. We're panicking.
We're just going to keep trying things until something works.
Something works.
We'll just keep throwing shit against the wall until it sticks. That's kind of the logic there. All right. I'm going to go through the 4 pitching matchups for this weekend. Obviously, 4-game series against Atlanta. The NL East might end by this Sunday, but the Phillies can also get back in this thing, obviously. Unfortunately, I really hate this Colorado series, the fact that they have to go to Colorado and play 3 games. I mean, whatever. Not that they're going to make this comeback anyway. But here are your 4 pitching matchups this weekend. And then after I tell you, you guys are going to tell me how many the Phillies win this weekend. Kevin Gausman versus Vince Velasquez tonight. Julio Teheran against Nick Pivetta tomorrow night. Sean Newcomb against Jake Arrieta on Saturday. And then we got Aaron Nola against Mike Fultonevich in the series finale on Sunday afternoon. How many do the Phillies win against Atlanta?
Tehran's a tough matchup. He's a really good pitcher. Fultonevich always plays us well, but we are going against Nola.
Nola, who hasn't exactly had a great September, by the way.
No, he's really falling apart too, man. It's just like everything's falling apart. It's just unraveling. But
for
out of the
everybody,
series,
it sucks.
What's that?
It's unraveling for everybody.
Everybody. Everybody's just falling apart all at once. It's like you can't even rely on the bats or the pitching. It's just it's snowballing is what's happening. But I say we go one out of 3 in the series.
Okay. Tony?
Wait, is this series a 3-game or is this series a 4-game, right?
I got 4 games, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be the optimist. Like
you're gonna be the positive Polly? Yes.
I'm gonna say they take 3 out of 4. Just
okay.
Because why the fuck not? Let's make baseball relevant for another few days. Yeah. I don't have any reason. I don't have any reason other than I'm hoping it happens. And you know, the Braves have handled the Phillies quite well this year, so you'd think just in terms of odds, Phillies have to win a couple.
The Braves are 7-5 and 4-2 at home. I almost said Turner Field, but I forgot that they already have a new ballpark. Sunlight Trust Field, wherever the fuck it is.
It's a nice ballpark.
Yeah, it's a nice ballpark, but they just built a new one 15 years ago, basically, at Turner Field. Now they got a new one. Like, what the hell? You know? But, so I've got a split. I think they'll split. And even that's being nice, I think, at this point. But hey, the Phillies, they have won 2 straight series, but they are 6-11 this month. So it's not looking good. All right. It is 7:30, so the game is on. So we'll just do final thoughts right now, and we'll do a show next week, and hopefully the Phillies are still in it.
Go ahead, Kyle.
What kills me too is if you look at the Braves too, they were kind of in the same situation that we were, and I thought we were even maybe a year or 2 ahead of them. But you look at them, all their youth has come together, and they're playing great baseball. They're leading in division. And when we were only 2 games out, it's not like the Braves were running away. We had a chance to take this division. They were losing just as many games as we were. So we had a chance to come back, overtake them, and get the lead back in the NL East. But we just screwed the pooch. So we have nobody to blame but ourselves. And they really need to go back to the drawing board. Maybe Kapler, after this first year under his belt, he can really have his own, define this team and put his mark on it. And learn from his mistakes this year and not overthink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to hit on the last point you make, because I think that's a big key here. But I guess final points I want to say, unless they do make a miraculous comeback here in the final 11 games, there's definitely going to be a sour taste or maybe a bitter taste, since we're on the bitter birds here. But also I think it's important to realize that they're going to end up doing what most people predicted them to do, which was win 80-some games and be in wild card contention through September. So it just kind of sucks how it's probably going to end. But I still think they're headed in the right direction. And Kyle, what you said about Kapler, we always talk about progressing and getting better as they get older and with more experience, but managers and coaches do the same thing. So hopefully he will learn from his mistakes this year and turn into a better manager next year. Because he's definitely going to – all this talk about firing him, like, he's definitely going to get at least next year. And he's probably almost guaranteed a 3rd year. So
it's a learning experience, and it reminds me of the opening week – the opening series of the opening series of the season. Easy for me to say. When Gabe Kapler fucked up and he was overthinking, and we were kind of like, all right, you overthought, you messed up, Gabe. Make the adjustments, and he did, and he did well, and the Phillies did well, and they were, 16 games over 500, or whatever the highest they were, and then they fell. Obviously, we kind of got into the show today about why they fell. And now we're seeing the overthinking again. Just way too much. Just stop it. You're not Chip Kelly, dude. And Chip Kelly, we saw what happened with you. So I don't want the same thing to happen to Gabe. I think Gabe does have a smart baseball mind. And sometimes, he needs to stop with the, overthinking and the whole, well, it's all about me shit. No. I don't want it's all about me shit. No. No more moves.
Just leave it. Stick with your gut. And we're a team that's usually really successful in September too, and we're just again completely screwing the pooch in September and crashing and burning. But it's not like it's that bad. Winning 80-some games is better than losing 80 to 100, so it's not that terrible.
I'll have to look back at how many wins we said before the season. I don't
remember.
We were
all around the 80s. We were all around in the
I don't remember if I said 84 or 86. I said somewhere around there.
I think I said 86 or 87.
Yeah. So we're all going to be about, kind of around the ballpark. I mean, I don't think any of us predicted playoffs.
No.
So.
We all said fighting for a wild card spot. We didn't think we'd be winning and that's why it was such a surprise when we were 16 games above 500. It was like, wow, they are going above and beyond expectations right now.
Yeah.
Well, by midway through the season, I did think they were going to make the playoffs, though.
So did I. Yeah, I did. I did.
With the way they were cooking, yeah, everything was going well. The bats were going. The pitching was doing just enough. But it's just like we have to find consistent pitching because Pivetta and Velasquez, they're not showing me anything. I don't think Pivetta could be a starter, honestly.
You know what I think might be one of the most disappointing things was one of the things I truly, truly believed in was that they were going to be much better in the second half, even though they had a good first half, just because they were young and I figured they would add up pieces at the deadline and stuff, which they did. But the complete opposite has happened. They've gotten so much worse after after the deadline. So
yeah. All right, we're gonna end it now because it is 7:35 now. So I'm gonna do an Eagles preview here. I have the game on DVR, so I'm gonna watch it regardless. So that game on DVR, I've got the Browns game on DVR, and I'm gonna go do the Eagles preview right now with James Worthington. So that is Kyle Gaffner. The other one is Tony Del Grasso. Beware of his baloney. My name is Adrian Fedke. Take care.
Better.